I felt like we had gotten to a balance, like an actual like gamer balance, you know, between Path of Exile, Destiny, you know, a little bit of First Ascended. I felt like we were getting close to some sort of like proper balance in our schedule, in our life. And then Warframe just came, and that balance is now fucked. I don't know what something's going to have to give. Going into 2025, fellas, we're going to have to give up something. We got to give up Destiny. I don't know if we're going to give up Destiny anytime soon, because the reality is we still need to know what the hell is going to happen in 2025. There's actually an article I wanted us to look at today, guys. This one right here. 2025 is the year we find out whether Destiny 2 can survive. It's from Paul Tassi. And this is actually, I mean, he's on point right here, because before we had a layout of content, you know, from the moment we saw Beyond Light and Witch Queen, we saw those 3 or 4 expansions that were laid out to us. We knew that was already like in the chute. The thought of an issue with the future of Destiny, it kind of weighed on us, but it was like, all right, even like with Lightfall that fell short, it's like we still got the final shape coming, right? So maybe we can fix whatever issues. But going into 2025, we're entering an era of Destiny that we just haven't. I mean, it's supposed to be whatever the next saga is, but that hasn't really been fully defined yet. So from Paul here, we're just days away from the beginning of 2025, the first year completely outside Destiny 2's decade-long Light and Darkness saga. And I would argue that this is the year whether we find out whether Destiny 2 can survive, possibly even if Bungie can survive long-term. That's a separate conversation, heavily relying on Marathon, which is too much of a question mark at this point. Let me just say this about Marathon. I'm going to play it, of course. I think most of us are going to probably play it. I mean, anybody that's playing Destiny is probably going to dabble in Marathon, even though it is primarily going to be PvP, being an extraction shooter. But Marathon, when we haven't seen any gameplay of it, or nothing's been revealed to us. And I think the big concern with Marathon is whether or not it's going to make it out in 2025. Keep in mind, it was supposed to come out this past year. It was originally supposed to come out in 2024 and then pushed to 2025. And then now it's saying that, you know, or not, no one's saying anything, but people are suspecting that it may actually get pushed into 2026, which is a huge miss. You know, Sony won't like that one bit. And and look, here's the other thing too, man. 2025 is not a good year to release a game. It really isn't, fellas. We got some bangers going out. I already know, dude, our lifestyle is going to go to complete shit. I'm going to look dead every time you come into this stream, because between GTA, between Monster Hunter Wilds, between this expansion with Destiny, and now that we're becoming obsessed here with Warframe, holy fuck, and that's not even top of all the other new games that are going to be coming out. We're going to literally have no free time. So if Marathon is dropping this year, man, it's going to have to be bringing it, right? Now, 2025 will bring the final episode of the year, one focus on the Hive and the return of the Dreadnought. Then we launch into the New Frontiers era of Destiny 2 with the Summer Apollo expansion and a Winter Behemoth expansion with quarterly, seemingly story-free major updates. No more seasons, no more episodes. Apollo and Behemoth seem likely to be somewhere in between a traditional expansion and an episode in terms of size. The way it's been compared, or what it's been compared to, is Rise of Iron, like Rise of Iron Shadowkeep. So ideally, what Bungie's wanting to do here is give us 2 Shadowkeep or Rise of Iron size expansions, 2 of those per year, which actually seems like more work, even though there's kind of like spinning it as being, it will be more manageable for them. And I don't really know how that's going to be more manageable, but we'll continue. The challenges are as follows. Destiny 2 currently has its lowest Steam player count in the history of the game on that platform. And console numbers are no doubt trending similarly. This is despite an episode adding some genuinely good activities, but these yawning gaps in between acts create almost unprecedented levels of downtime. The same structure will exist next episode, and remains to be seen whether there will be enough changes to draw more players or if these declines will continue. Yeah, guys, we looked at the numbers, man. It's not good. I'm not going to say Destiny is dead, right? We've said that on countless other videos. So we've posed that question, right? We'll talk about that a little more toward the end of this. The Frontiers era has promised to take us out of the current solar system and into new places, but a test there is going to be what percentage of players actually show up for these new, smaller expansions. The final shape posted close to series highs, but given that we have ended up at a series lows at the end of this year, it would take some heavy lifting to get players to return for Frontiers Apollo. So what's it going to be? 70% of players return? 50%? 30%? And what about as the year goes on without actual seasons or episodes in the interim? Well, there's supposed to be seasons. There will be seasons here so there'll be 2 seasons per each of these mid-sized expansions. So I think the episode cadence is obviously not hitting right, and I think Bungie recognizes that. The other thing is that this is a great question. How many people are actually going to be interested in coming back and giving whatever new approach it is. And I feel like we're going to be in a wait and see kind of situation. Like, I really feel like, you know, a lot of people are going to be kind of chilling, being like, all right, what exactly is this next phase of Destiny? And you know, I think a big part of that's going to be Heresy, the episode that's coming up here soon, where we're essentially going to be, I guess, fixing the Dreadnought. And the speculation is that we're going to take the Dreadnought and we're going to take that to the next place, whatever the next place may be. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I will say it's interesting because Destiny has started 2024 and ended 2024 kind of in the same spot. We had our big high in June, our big peak. But in terms of player sentiment, player population, these things started off very, very low in January 2024, extremely low. And then has pretty much ended up in the exact same spot, if not a bit lower in some areas, at the end of 2024. And that's not to take away from what the Final Shape was. The Final Shape was a great expansion. It's just, I mean, literally in the name, guys, it's called the Final Shape. You could draw whatever lore implications out of that. Obviously, it doesn't mean final expansion, but a lot of people look at that and just go, all right, that's it. And then on top of that, I think the jump here from Bungie on the follow-up after it has been a bit too slow. And that's why, you know, it's been shedding players. And there's just other games too, man. We have more games now. It's not like 2020 or 2021. You know, you make, you know, Beyond Light, not that Beyond Light was terrible, but, you know, you make a couple of mistakes, you stumble here and there, and it's like, you know, then we just had Destiny. You know where I'm coming from? We're at a point now where we just have so many different options, you know, from Path of Exile to Warframe to the huge lineup of games that are coming next year. There's just a lot of options. Bungie is now down to just 850 or so employees split between Destiny and Marathon, half of what it was a few years ago between layoffs and quiet departures. And as Marathon aims for a 2025 release, probably 2026, if we're being honest, more resources will shift over there, as that game being a hit is really the main key to Bungie's survival. But whether it's a hit or a miss, future Destiny content will be reduced in scale. Oh man, dude. Let me just say this about Marathon. I think that, you know, I think every game has a chance to do something great, right? But considering that it's been kind of revealed that the price point is going to be, I think they said somewhere around $40, right? I am just so concerned that we may run into a situation where, because of that paywall and because of it being an extraction shooter, which I know was very hot at one time. And I'm not saying extraction shooters aren't things that people are interested in, but I'm concerned that we could enter another Concord 2.0. And look, man, the whole time we were playing Concord during its beta, I didn't know how bad it was going to get until it released. The reality is like Concord should have just been free. It should have just been, if it wanted a surviving chance, they should have just made it free to play and given everybody ultimates, especially with a game like Marvel Rivals right around the corner. What in the world? So yeah, gameplay aspects didn't hit, but just from the marketing side of things, which just completely missed. There are promising signs like Destiny 2 still ranking in Steam's platinum tier of earners for 2024, albeit that was again the year of the Final Shape, which put up huge numbers. Despite what it earns, Bungie's burn rate of cash spend has always been enormous, which resulted in a significant issues post Lightfall, and there have been cuts and cuts since then. It has not been healthy for a while now. I'm legitimately wondering that if 2025 content does not perform the way it needs to, that Bungie may in fact consider putting Destiny on ice for the foreseeable future and devote everything to Marathon or other projects while keeping D2 in maintenance mode. While not everything, as I would hope the idea would be to attempt to bring Destiny roaring back to life with a sequel, say 5 years from now, which I and the player base have said many times feels like the only way to fix things and stop these endless declines. But that would require work to essentially begin now. It's hard to see Destiny 2 doing nothing but cranking out frontier level content for the next 5 years without any sort of move towards an eventual sequel. The game is going to feel ancient the longer this goes, and we're speeding toward an entirely new console generation. It's possible Frontiers is a hit, and if content spend is reduced and player spend stays the same or even improves, that can mean a more profitable, slimmer Destiny really is the way forward. But I'm seeing more red flags than green ones as we hit 2025 here, as much as I'd like that not to be the case. So I think this point right here, the game is going to feel ancient the longer this goes, and we're speeding towards an entirely new console generation. I would say from a technical sense with the bugs and everything, right? Like you see that decline. The other thing is though, is as new games have been rolling out, Path of Exile is a great example, a game that just challenges you on every single level and has almost infinite builds. When you have that, and then you go back to, you know, Destiny's build crafting. Destiny's build crafting starts to feel very limited. And again, as time goes on and other games are rolling out, if Destiny doesn't change up its formula, which it seems like the aspect fragment system that we have in the game is pretty much what we're locked into. The only thing Bungie I feel like is going to do with Destiny 2 at this point is we may get that 6th and final Darkness subclass. You know, and whether it probably won't be Siva. I know a lot of people say it was Siva, but that'd be it. But it would still be in the same confined subclass layout that we have now. We're still looking at 3 classes, Titan, Hunter, and Warlock. We're still looking at our different subclasses. Prismatic is something that I would say is like a D3 feature, but still in that same fragment aspect layout, which I understand from a balance standpoint, you know, it is easier to manage. All I'm saying is as other games continue to roll out and it continue to improve and evolve, it will make Destiny feel ancient. And then not only that, you have games like Warframe, which has all the MMO aspects. And you guys used to annoy the piss out of me too, because I would be like, we need to have clans and you know, the tribute hall back and this and that. We need to be able to customize our ships. And dude, you guys were so fucking annoying because y'all would just be like, just play Warframe. Okay, so we play Warframe and we're in the process of playing Warframe. Turns out you fuckers were right, man. Warframe really does have all that shit. Like legitimately. Like hold on. It's right here. I'm on my ship right now. This is completely customizable. There's a fucking clan dojo. I can go to a clan dojo right now. I talk about adding trading into Destiny. Guess what? They got trading too. Anyways, the point is like what it takes for certain development studios to make moves. Say they make, you know, 10, or let's not even say 10 big steps. Let's just say a handful of big steps per year to evolve their game in a meaningful way. The time it takes for them to make those handful of steps, Destiny and Bungie may make one truly meaningful step to evolve and change the game. And so it's not even like Destiny feels ancient right now. It's a like it will continue to feel more and more archaic with every expansion because they're slow on the move here, man. And that's why sequels are important. That's why Destiny 3 would be important. That's why, you know, keeping everybody on your team and not letting everyone go, because you got to keep evolving things. We'll see, man. We'll see what plays out. If this ends up being my big concern with the whole Codename Frontiers thing is that I see what's being pitched to us, and it's being pitched as the cadence of content that we want, and being these mid-sized expansions equivalent to Shadowkeep and Rise of Iron. Maybe from and again, the way it's being pitched to us is like from a story beat perspective, it would make more it's easier for Bungie to manage and also present to us. Maybe instead of having like an entire annual expansion devoted to whatever alien faction or whatever that we're about to run into in this next, in Apollo, and then that take up the entire year. Now it's like we're gonna run into this faction Apollo and maybe run into this other faction. Maybe there's something to do with the 9. I don't know. I know I'm being a little overly optimistic right now, but the point I'm trying to make is it's like, I see what's being pitched to us. The counter argument to this is what's actually being pitched to us is everything surrounding cost cutting. And that just means this game is just going to wither away. You can't just keep cutting over and over across the board constantly without issues arising and without players leaving. It's very, very obvious where the player population is right now that the whole cost cutting measures is not working. Save $1, but you're losing a player. So, and that's kind of been the game plan for the second half of Destiny and Bungie for the past year. And Bungie will not be able to survive 2025 with that game plan. Across the community is burnt out. I think at this point, any content, lack of quality, lack of QA, the devs focus on DT leads to the long time of content drought, meaningful content, not these filler seasons. Being a rare breed that started Destiny 2 years ago and being a main Warframe player prior to that and consistently coming back to it, seeing cross-play in Warframe is like watching FRD start trying your favorite food. The satisfaction is real. Dude, I mean, look, man, I used to, because Bombad would come in and talk about Warframe and I'd just be like, I would just say the most outrageous thing. I'd be like, Warframe sucks ass. Like, Bombad, you know Warframe sucks ass, right? And man, I used to piss him off. And by the way, I had no idea what I was saying. I never even played Warframe. You know, I was just talking out of my ass. I was just saying things to just say things. But no, the game's good, man. Just about and look, here's the thing. I've occasionally gone to Bungie. I would say if anyone here goes to Bungie, because Bungie, they invite a lot of different people. You know, they invite people from all types of games, you know, whether you're a content creator or someone who runs a publication, or if you're someone that just, you know, frequents you know, different social spaces. You know what I mean? You could just be someone that chills in the forums. They'll invite you. But I would say now I am better equipped more than ever to, if I was to ever have a conversation with Bungie again, I am more equipped now more than ever. And I need to become better equipped. Like this is an ongoing thing. I need to put in, I think, roughly 4,000 hours into Warframe to be better equipped. And I know this is not going to be a task that we can do overnight. So, but the point is like, after spending a lot of time with Path of Exile 2 and now spending time with Warframe, these are the type of things I want to bring to a conversation, because there's so many features in both of those games that I want to see in Destiny. Don't know if it's ever going to happen, but would love to see it. You know what I mean?
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.